All right. Well, I'm with a man that doesn't need an introduction, but I'll definitely give you your time that you need for an introduction. But episode 54, Tequila and Transactions with my boy. Appreciate you for being on here, brother.
Thanks for
So it
having
was a
me.
pleasure, man.
Appreciate it.
Really excited to hear a little bit about your journey and whatever you want to share. I mean, we'll talk a little tequila. I mean, as always, I get outdone in my own show. You had to bring a little something from the motherland, but
Hey, I've watched a few episodes. I've seen them live, or
someone's paying attention.
And just know you got some views for me, and I
Thank you,
heard
bro.
no
Thank you.
steal, no deal. I heard I can't bring Patron. Definitely don't bring the Jose Cuervo with the plastic bottle.
Nah, you can't. Yeah,
So I'll let
for
folks
sure.
know. And this one's actually from a client of mine. Actually, shout out my home, Ricardo.
Oh, nice.
They recently bought their first home, and they're from
Great taste.
Yahualica, Jalisco, and they brought this bottle actually. So I figured
Oh, pues
I know you like
son mis
añejo.
vecinos, yeah, and I do. I mean, that's why we got a little añejo and extra añejo on the table. So
So
we're gonna have a nice little journey here. We'll probably start in Mexico and make our way to a tequila that I'm a big fan of. That's made its strides here to U.S. and great family, a lot of good stories to tell. So. But yeah, first and foremost, bro, just again appreciate you for being part of the show, being on here. I know that it's been requested, and definitely I definitely wanted you on here, bro. So I mean, without further ado, obviously we're here finally, 54 episodes in. Just be able to share some tequila with you and share some, some stories, and hopefully we'll get a little honest here in a minute.
yeah, let's do it. We can get honest for sure, dude. I've been looking forward to this, and you know why? Actually, I think that the thing that I've been looking forward to the most is I don't know that I've heard somebody more passionate about tequila than you. It's not just like it's not the kind of passion where it's like, oh, I'm just trying to get wasted type. It's just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I appreciate like the it's like an art that you find in it.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
don't know, it's almost like I'm going wine tasting, but I'm going tequila tasting with you.
Yeah, man.
A specific guide, and
yeah.
I don't know. I'm a nerd in that way where I like learning these kind of little factual things. And one of them that I watched when you had a guest, you were talking about certain things about the tequila that I would have never known, right? And just hearing some of that stuff and looking at it from a different point of view, I think it's interesting. So I'm excited to learn.
Dude, definitely.
Knowledge on
Definitely. I got you. I got a lot of things I definitely want to talk about. But yeah, I mean, like I said, first and foremost, want to give you the mic, bro. Let the people know who you are, what you do, and then
sure.
we'll get into it.
Cool. You guys don't know me, George Morales. I'm a trusted mortgage lender here in the Bay Area. Traditional Mexican household. Grew up in that, and yeah, I live in Clayton. I'm in the Bay Area. I serve the Bay Area, and I've been in the industry for I think 2021 was my first full year, or first year, not first full year. But yeah, here we are. I think that's all they will need to know. I think they'll get to know it over the next hour or whatever. We'll talk. We'll talk more. But
Yeah, brother.
people know me as a mortgage lender in the Bay Area.
You're far than just a mortgage lender. You're a friend. You're a homie. You're definitely part of the family. I definitely respect you and all the great things that you do. Obviously, have done some really amazing things in the industry, and have done some really cool things on social media. And I definitely want to touch on that and just kind of pick your brain a little bit on all that good stuff. But yeah, brother, tequila brings people together, bro, and that's why we're here. Obviously, I wouldn't be doing this and for 54 episodes over pretty much kicking off 5 years of doing this. So for me, it's like I wouldn't obviously spend the time and the money and everything if I wasn't passionate about what tequila does, and kind of what it's been for me. It's been a catalyst of a lot of things for me and my family. And it's been something that my father and my brother and I really share. And it's not just drinking to get drunk, it's understanding the story, the process, and ultimately just appreciating the hard work that's gone into creating a really enjoyable tequila. And ultimately, like, it's goes kind of beyond that as well. It's like the bottle tells a story too. Every bottle's different. If you notice, like,
Right.
tequila, in my opinion, they have some of the more unique bottles that
Right.
any other alcohol company has done, like any other industry.
Right.
Like, you look at vodka, there's not, I mean, it's obviously, like, yes, it's all clear. So it's very obviously similar, but their bottles aren't very, they don't all kind of stand out. Like, you go into a tequila aisle, you have colorful stuff, you have short, tall, different types of glass, different, like,
Right.
like there's a lot of pride that goes into it. There's a lot of obviously showmanship, like being able to really display your item and have it set apart from the competition. But
Yeah.
I think that over the years, tequila has been, just gaining momentum, and now is the number one imported alcohol in the entire U.S. So now they have that recognition, that brand. They have the obviously the respect of the alcohol industry, and people have gravitated towards it more than ever in the last 5 to 10 years.
Right.
And it really took off in COVID. Like a lot of people were really focused on tequila. You have these big brands that are catering to that, like Las Azul and Don Julio, were really focused on their advertising to people here in the U.S. And obviously here we are, but.
So for you, did it start like this, I guess, admiration or like affinity for tequila? Did it start with you? Like you started drinking and you tried out a few things and you just happened to, lean towards tequila, or was it your family was into it and like as a kid you started actually learning about it? Or like where did the I guess the desire to actually learn all these things about tequila? Because that's just the stuff that the average person doesn't really even look into, right? They
Right.
drink it, even if it tastes good, they'll just go as far as like, okay, let me try it just to see what tastes good, and that's it. But I feel
Right.
like you go like above and beyond to like know where they make this stuff, how they make it, the process, how long it takes them. And so was it that got you into it first, or was it you tried it and you tasted it and you liked it, and then you got curious, into like how the process and behind the scenes?
Bro, that's a great question. I think I've never actually been asked that. So, like, I think obviously it comes with a little combination of everything because, like, it's just so embedded in culture, in our culture. If you're Mexican, you understand that tequila is, if it's not tequila, it's mezcal, right? So, like, those are really big staples of our culture, things that we've obviously kind of embedded in who we are as people because it's very prominent in the landscape of the country. Like we don't see vineyards of grapes, grape vineyards. We see fields of agave. We see cattle. We see real estate. We see obviously all the beautiful buildings and everything else that's part of Mexico, right? But like
Right.
the cobblestone streets and all that cool stuff. But like tequila is just very prominent in the culture, and I think for me, obviously, I was curious, and I got curious at a young age.
We won't say-
Don't get I'm not gonna get my parents in trouble. You know what I mean? But like,
Say the age, but
I mean, I was a youngin', and for me, it's like I had cousins that were like 5 to 10 years older than me. So like, obviously, I always wanted to grow up faster than everybody else because I wanted to keep up with these guys. But
Right.
I think it's a combination of like just being curious about like why is tequila so accepted in my culture? Why do people drink it a lot? It kind of was everywhere growing up as a kid. To now, like obviously being around it for one, but then the other thing was my dad, man. My dad was like, he was not a person that like, he was drinking to get drunk. Like he also had that curiosity. He started collecting bottles when I was a young kid. So like, I mean, when we moved into our next home, like my parents have owned 3 homes since I was, pretty much moved from the San Francisco to Concord in a smaller home to then a bigger house in Concord when my brother and my sister, obviously were created and brought to this earth. And now we're a family of 3, but like, my dad really never had the space for it. So like growing up, I didn't see it that much. Obviously a lot of it was in his liquor cabinet. It wasn't really displayed as much. And then when he had the opportunity to have his own bar room, built that when I was about 10 years old at the house they still live in today. And then like, he just started like displaying all these bottles. He had all these bottles that I had never seen before. And then I think that would really spark my curiosity, like talking to my dad, like, he's like, yeah, like there's so many different brands of tequila and there's so many brands that you don't know of because a lot of them don't even make it here to the US.
Right.
And I think that's what really just sparked my curiosity. Like, holy shit, there's this whole other world out there
Right.
of different companies that don't get that recognition, that don't get the love. Like, I mean, they don't pay me, but I'm not here to talk about Don Julio and Plaza Azul. Those are the big companies.
Right.
Like, I really wanted to focus on the mom and pop stuff, the stuff that doesn't really come across,
Right.
At a bar. It doesn't really come across at a Total Wine or a liquor store. Like, so I think that's where it was, kind of where like I had that moment where like, dude, I really wanted to learn more about it, see what else is out there. And then, it's interesting that like, there's so much more that, that meets the eye. Like there's so much more that goes into it. So like, just, it's crazy just to understand like, where these people started and how they've now have their own distilleries, their own companies.
Right.
And now they're selling these bottles in the US and just have this huge trajectory in their company. Like it's just gone from like mom and pop to now like being recognized and having this huge fame and like now selling bottles across the world. And like, it's just crazy to see how like really, humble people, families who've dedicated themselves to making a really good tequila have now become multimillionaires because of the fact of, how, much, pride they take into the product, but at the same time, like now how like the popularity has now fed into that. And now you're having people really recognize those brands and they've really kind of taken off. So it's kind of cool to see a lot of those journeys, but there's a lot of companies that you don't know of and I don't even know of. I'm barely scratching the surface.
Right.
Some really good stuff out there that obviously people don't know of because they don't have that marketing, that brand recognition yet.
Get out.
But yeah, bro, kind of that's it in a nutshell, bro. Just like understanding all the other, wanting to understand all the other cool
Yeah.
tequilas out there, trying to understand their story and hear them out and try different things. And I think the cool thing about, wine is that it's very similar in that too, I believe. Like there's so many small mom and pop and we're lucky to be
Yeah.
surrounded by wine country, bro. So like if you're into wine, there's so much cool wineries out there, so much cool different wines. And I think like, yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting because you get to like understand, where they started, where they're at, and kind of what they do and things like that. And it's really kind of, I think reminiscent of tequila as well. So
So I mean, it sounds obviously your dad had a big influence on this, and
Sure
it sounds
did.
like your dad comes from like a collector's type of point of view almost.
Yeah.
Like he collects maybe these bottles, and
Yeah.
he likes the bottles, he likes these.
for sure,
He wants to have one of each, I guess, or one of everything, right?
that's usually the goal. Yeah.
Yeah, but for you, like you want to have those, but like you take it to the next level where you're collecting, but at the same time you're like on you're almost like exploring them in a way, and you're like, okay, yeah, this one's cool, but like, what else is out there? Who else has a bottle that like I should know about that like no one else knows about?
Yep.
And I don't care like the price, I don't care how big, I don't care how popular you are. I want to know like why it means something to you as a family that created that or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's similar but different in a way. I guess the perspective that you and your dad see it from. But cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think my dad's a little bit more, like you said, on the collector side, and he's probably looks at it more like, one day this will be worth more money, or one day I'll
Yeah,
eventually
okay.
drink it. Yeah, no, and that's the thing too. I told my dad all the time, pues, ¿cuándo se van a abrir? Like, are we gonna be able to even try these? You know what I mean? So like, me and my brother have over the years, obviously, birthdays, Christmas, you name it, like. That's what my dad would get. Like
Right.
the thought that we didn't even think come across our mind. We knew we were gonna get my dad a bottle of tequila that year, and it was usually like if it's something that we wanted to try, we'd buy two. Like here's your gift, and then we're gonna try one, right? And it was hella funny because like me and Ashley a couple of years ago brought back one for Christmas last year. I think it was like last year for Christmas, and we brought back a bottle for him. And he was like, "Oh yeah, this is cool, but where's the one I'm gonna drink at?" So it's like, "Oh, now he's understanding as he gets older. He's like, well, yeah, it's cool to have one on display, but I also want to drink one too."
Right.
But that's where I kind of come from too, brother, because it's like, yes, I want to display, and I do have a nice little display. I know you've been to my house. I have a little display of tequila of like the ones I really love, right?
Right.
The cool bottles, the ones that are drinkable, the ones that I want people to know of. But I also have my little stash underneath too. Like I have some bottles that I'm gonna, want to, every once in a while I'll pull out to drink or whatever. So for me, like not like I would say a majority of my bottles are not off limits. Like I'm more than happy to like when people come over, like if they want to try something, like I'm more than happy to share it with them.
Right, for sure.
More than happy to share it with them. And ultimately for me, that allows me also to be able to bring people together, have a conversation. You know what I mean? It's not like we're gonna be sitting there to get drunk, and I'm more of an añejo guy myself, so I'm sipping. Like,
Right.
we're not taking shots of this stuff. This is not. It's like the what's what's the even word for it? I think it's beyond worthy than for it to be a shot. It needs to be definitely sipped and enjoyed. You know what I mean? Some stuff is only worthy for it to be a shot. You know what I mean? It's a good tequila just to drink real quick, or maybe mix it in a little bit of a cocktail. But some tequila is really made to be enjoyed, meant to be sipped. Like pretty much everyone that's on this table right here.
Right.
So definitely want you to do the honors when you're ready, bro, to pop that Centenario, because that's one of my favorites.
So shall we or what?
I think whenever you're ready, man. I think we're getting to that point in the show where it's time to
Let's
try it
go.
up. But
I think-
it's yours, brother. So I want you to be able to obviously open it up because
Let's get this thing going.
it's part of the fun, man, to be able to open it up and serve it. But yeah, man, I think what's really cool is just like I touched on earlier, man. It's just there's so much out there. I haven't scratched the surface. I'm like always trying to get something different when I'm out there.
Right.
Always trying to bring something back. Always, I'm always sharing with others and like asking other people's opinion because I don't want to consider myself an expert, or a connoisseur or anything like that. I'm a fanatic, man. I'm a huge fan. I like drinking it. I like learning about it. Definitely love collecting it. So, and now
Would you consider
turning it
this
to a show now.
like it's a centenario? Like treat me like someone that's like never even had a drink of alcohol before. Is this something that's like a classic like right now, or is this something that's relatively new?
I think that's a name that's going to be around forever. I
Yeah.
think it's a very classic bottle. That bottle with the riffles in the bottle is very well known. They used to make a Gran Centenario that was their extra añejo,
Right.
and it was a large version of this, and it was an extremely good tequila. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Cheers.
I don't have the shot glasses like you normally do, and then pour them in here. So we just
Hey, and I didn't bring it this time because I honestly wanted to show a little love to Don Pilar, which we'll touch on later. But another great tequila company. They really prideful in their tequila. I love their añejos, but
you have one of the bottles here, right? Let's show 'em.
yeah, this was actually cool because he actually Don Pilar signed it for him. That didn't work out like that.
Oh, good.
I didn't know this was clipped on all crazy like that.
I got some. Yeah, it's all good. Let's do this. Let's do it just like this.
All right, Michelle. There we go.
Fine. So this
That one was a little that was cool because he actually signed it for me, and it was earlier this year. And one thing we were talking about earlier, before Moises shut us up, you guys are talking too much, man. You guys got to talk on the show. But no, we were actually talking about it earlier, which I definitely want to give them some love and chat a little bit about them. But they have a really cool restaurant called Amigos Grill. It's in Portola Valley. If you guys haven't gone, you guys should go. And definitely give you a little story about who they are, what they do, and their cool restaurant and all that cool stuff too. But Centenario is a classic, brother.
Yeah.
It's a classic. Will remain a classic. Like I was telling you earlier, when you pulled up with the seal on it, I was like, "Oof, no seal, no deal, baby." You already know. You know what's up. Like always, getting outdone on the show. I didn't bring nothing from the motherland today because we were going to talk a little bit about a domestic imported or a tequila company that is more domestic. They don't have too much of their stuff in Mexico, but really good buy. You can find it at Costco as well as you can Centenario and things like that. But you're not going to find it with the seal on here, you guys. George brought this especially for us to enjoy.
Especially.
Shout out to your clients, yeah, Abuelita. Those are my neighbors. I'm right there from Escala.
Yes.
So those are our vecinos right there. But definitely, like, it's a classic, bro. You can't go wrong with this. People who aren't even Mexican know about this angel.
Yeah.
That's obviously the angel that's on the Centenario.
Right.
It's very much embedded in the culture of Mexico. And it's a statement piece, bro. Like, people know what this is. Every time it's at a party, you're not gonna go wrong. It's a classic in my opinion. They haven't really fucked it up yet. There's been tequila companies who fucked it up.
Because that sounds like the trend,
Yeah.
right? And I'm kind of
Yeah,
talk about it sometimes. Is I guess and actually that's one thing that I'm curious about is does that happen with most, if not all, tequilas, or is there one right now that you feel like
Well,
in
there
the
is.
last 2 or 3 years
Yeah.
they're hot, and now like you're thinking, yep, they're about to take that same turn that every tequila company takes, unfortunately, whereas diluting it or adding a bunch of stuff in it and reducing the quality, essentially, right?
Yeah, and unfortunately it happens too much, bro, to be honest. Well, before salud, bro. Oh yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, a little sweet at the end. That barrel, you get definitely that oakiness in there. Yeah, it's gonna be nice to compare because I want you to tell me what you think about this. Because, like I said, you can get it. You can get their añejos in Costco. You can find something pretty much anywhere,
Right.
but it's not going to taste the same. It's going to be a little bit different because they do change the alcohol content. Because I don't know if you guys can really see, but you can see right here on the corner of the label, 38%.
Right.
When it gets here, it becomes 40. changes the taste a little bit. You have more alcohol in there. Not, the taste kind of starts to fade away as you add more alcohol. Obviously, it's that you're diluting more alcohol. It's not going to be as enjoyable.
Right.
It's not going to get you that much more drunk. It might give you more of a hangover, but at the end of the day, it's like, you always want to drink responsibly. You always want to pace yourself, drink a lot of water. If you're like me, you get a little sparkling water.
There you go.
And then so you can enjoy refreshing and hydrating while you're drinking, you know what I mean?
Baby. If I open this one, it might do a hole.
But yeah, bro, I think that's the unfortunate truth. I hate to say it, but there's companies that they're going to reel you in. They're going to have a good product. They'll get famous. Case in point, like Casa Amigos with George Clooney was like one of the first celebrities to really kind of put his name on something, have a really good product, very passionate about it. Obviously, he used his name, his brand, and everything to really push that product. Still today is very much involved in some of the marketing, but it had this huge trajectory which went up, got famous, people loved it. It was a good tequila, in my opinion. It wasn't bad at all for being something that was, brought here domestically and bottled here. So it's like, yes, it's good. And it starts to obviously get that fame, and people start to obviously get really used to that taste of it.
Right.
And then here comes an investor who's like, wants a piece of those profits, wants a piece of that action. And they paid a premium. I think he sold it for about $2 billion to a Chinese investor, who then is going to come in and they're going to try to cut costs to increase profits. They're going to try to increase production, try to cut some corners, obviously increase production to a certain extent. You can't rush something that's supposed to be done right, and it's supposed to take time, right? Like, it's like aging a fine wine, bro. It's the same thing with the tequila. Like,
Right.
I tell people all the time, like, you're talking about an actual plant that needs minimum 7-8 years.
Right.
On the Joven side, yeah, you can get away with about 5 or 6, but it's not going to taste the same.
Right.
So you're talking about cutting that in half. Now there's so much shit going on in the tequila industry where they're trying to cut corners. They're trying to speed up the process of the agave plant. They're trying to speed up all these things. You're starting to cut corners on something that's been done traditionally for many, many, many years. So 6 to 8 years to even mature the plant.
Right.
And then you're aging it for about anywhere between 8 to 12 months in a barrel. So before it even hits a bottle and hits your table, you're talking about 8-9 years.
Right.
To even be able to enjoy it. So like, you have these companies like, obviously, like, Casamigos, another big one, obviously, Don Julio.
Right.
Fucking super popular. 1942 bottles at everywhere you went. 1942 that's what they were pushing. Celebrities, everywhere you saw music videos, every artist had a 1942 bottle or a Clase Azul bottle at their table. Like, it was that prominent. Like, that's obviously shows that wealth, shows that, prominence, whatever it is, right? But like, that bottle had such kind of a just that brand and that image that people wanted it, people needed it, right? Then you talk about drove up the price. You could have got one pre-COVID for about $100. You can't find one under $150 right now. And the thing is, it's shit now. Like, honestly, like, not to talk a lot of shit, but they really ruined that bottle. Like, you know what I mean? It has such nostalgia. Don Julio is such a well-known name. Don Julio is like, early 2000s, it was Patron.
Right.
And where's Patron at?
Right.
I mean, no one drinks that shit no more. And it's because they've changed the recipe. They've over the years, I think Patron was sold to Bacardi. And then there you go. Like, an investor comes in and they fucking ruin it.
Right.
I will say that there is one tequila that hasn't really deviated from their path. Still fucking fire to this day. Any tequila connoisseur, schnob, whoever you talk to, if they say anything different than what the fuck they're talking about, Siete Leguas till this day, Siete Leguas is still on game. They've never really fucking changed up. They got good stuff, no matter where you get it. In the States, it's good as shit. Mexico, crispy, delicious, dude. Like, Siete Leguas has really good shit in Mexico. Like, they don't really deviate too much from their path, like I said. And, like, you know what you get.
Right.
You know what you get. And so, like, that's why the tequilas I bring around, or either I'm tasting something new and different, or I'm bringing around something that I fuck with myself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna bring you some shit that I wouldn't drink. That's just not who I am. I'm gonna enjoy something with you that I like to enjoy with others, and I want to be, obviously invite, my closest family and friends to enjoy it with me. So, but yeah, bro, it's just it's hard to pill to swallow. Obviously, when something obviously tastes good and you want to enjoy it, and you want to be able to have that same experience over and over again, but it gets ruined.
It's interesting to think about that, right? Because I just think about it from a business standpoint, right? At the end of the day,
Yep.
the tequila business is a business, and maybe I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. You might be thinking about it because your love for tequila is through the roof, right? So when you see something that's so good that is getting changed by quote unquote an investor or someone that's an outsider that maybe not be as passionate about tequila as you are, or the traditional consumer that is as passionate as you are about tequila.
Correct.
There's an emotional attachment or detachment, right?
There is.
Detachment, right? And you're like, oh, it's just like an artist, right? If you have a favorite artist that you listen to from the time that they first started, before they blew up, and then they get signed, and then they have albums, and now their music changes, and you're like, no, I don't like it anymore, right? Or any business. It's just, we're talking about tequila here specifically, but I wonder how much of that is someone literally just trying to scale a business, and they have some kind of business goals and they want to get there. And the product of that is you have to cut some corners here and there. And maybe because they're not as passionate about it. No one ever wants to cut corners in business because that's not good, right? But maybe if an investor's coming in and buying these things, they're like, well, it's just tequila. At the end of the day, for me, it's just numbers, it's black and white. I don't really care about the process as much as like the original family that started it. That original family doesn't care that it takes 5, 6, 7, 8 years because they're so in love with what they created. That's their baby. Versus the person on the outside that just paid to get in. And he's like, my goal is to take this to whatever. And once it gets to whatever, I'm gonna sell it off again or do something else because it's not their baby, right? They just kind of quote unquote adopted that.
Oh, and I'm a business person myself, bro. Like I see that angle 100%. And obviously, I'm more a little upset about it because I don't, obviously it's something that I enjoy and so did others, and now they're changing it up.
Right.
To their perspective, obviously it's money, dude. It's a product that that has some momentum in the market, or they have identified that is going to have market share, and obviously they want to continue to, increase profits. Like, it's not, and if they can scale it upward and they can do certain things to continue to make it more efficient, obviously get more product into the market, increase revenue, etc. Like, yeah, by all means. But I do challenge these companies to try to keep it the same.
Right.
Don't fuck up the formula. You know what I mean? The formula is good for a reason. But I will say that, to a certain extent, people catch on, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm not the drunk dude at the club ordering this shit.
Right.
I'm the dude at home at a dinner party with my friends and family, enjoying a cocktail over dinner. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different experience. So for me, it's like, yes, I'm gonna notice more than Club Ricky would,
Right.
Party Ricky would. Like, if I was in the club and I'm just ordering drinks, at that point I've probably already been drinking or whatever it may be. It's not gonna really taste much different to me.
Right.
The quote unquote experience that those people want to have, like, they're there at the club to drink, to get fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, that still is there.
Right.
But for me, for a consumer, like you said, who's more passionate about the product, who wants to enjoy it still, like, it ruins it for those kind of, those people who are fans of that tequila, or actual, like, more than just occasional tequila drinkers. They're also, huge fanatics or, connoisseurs of tequila or whatever it may be. But, like, I think that's a real interesting, obviously, conversation because it is a product. It does make money, makes a shit ton of fucking money.
Right.
And obviously now these companies are coming in. That's why I think you see more celebrities, right? You see a Kevin Hart, you see The Rock, E40. You name it, they probably have something, right? The Jenners.
We're waiting on Rins, baby. We're waiting on Rins. What's that? Ricky J Tequila. Hey, if you could have a tequila, what would you name it? Do you know?
I think I said this one time on the show. I gotta remember. I think it was when me and RJ were talking about it. But he was like, "What would you call it?" And I think I would pay homage to the show. I'd probably call it TNT.
There you go.
Tequila and Transactions. But I think it'd be like, I think it'd be kind of cool to have like a TNT, and they have a little bit more of a meaning behind it, right? But
That might be intimidating. People see it on the bottle.
Like, oh shit, this shit's bomb.com, bro. It's either gonna be messed up or either that or it's hella good, like either one or the other. But like,
Right.
no, man, tequila's interesting, bro, because it's like, it's very much a part of the working person's life in Mexico. Like whether it's on your ranch,
Right.
like for us, we don't actually grow it, but we have a lot of land that's part of our families that we rent out to companies like Herradura. Right now, Clase Azul is buying a lot of land to obviously grow more tequila because they're doing different things, right? So, like, there's huge amounts of like, there's a lot of land in Mexico, like a lot of land. But like, if you're not using it to grow some kind of crop, it's going to waste.
Yeah.
So a lot of people either they're growing corn, they're growing tequila, they're growing something, right?
Right.
And corn can be used for a lot of things. Obviously, eating. Obviously, it could also be used for cattle, for livestock, things of that nature.
Right.
But like right now, tequila is the number one thing you see, and especially in the region of Jalisco where we're from, that's what you see in the hills. That's what you see on any flat part. Like it's filled up with agave, which is pretty crazy. But and I know you got family that's out there too. Like, do you guys? We're part of what's part of Sinaloa? And so it's parts of Sinaloa can also grow tequila.
Yeah.
Certain regions in Mexico, like they all have their own little boundaries, but like people from Sinaloa love tequila too. Like it's very much like one of those things that's at the party, that's at the dinner functions. You know what I mean? Like every piece of Mexico is so diverse and unique that people don't really get that.
Right.
And not everyone tries to put us in a box, but like we all have our really own distinctive different or things that make this different in each region. You know what I mean? Like you can't really compare Sinaloa to like a Chiapas or to a Oaxaca. Like everyone's so much different in their own regard of who they are, what they do, traditional Mexican dishes as well. Like everyone makes different style tamales, everyone makes different styles of mole, everyone makes, and that's what like
There's beauty in all of it.
in all of it, bro.
Doesn't
In
matter
all of it.
where it is, like each one has its own thing that makes it.
I think that's
beautiful in a way, right?
Exactly. And I think that's kind of reminiscent of tequila. Like it's not all done the same, doesn't all look the same, doesn't all taste the same, but there's definitely some really good things out there that you can learn, enjoy. And I think that's what just makes Mexico beautiful, that it's that diverse. And I do challenge people to not just visit a beach in Mexico, go out and look at all the beautiful things we have to offer. Like it's in a gorgeous, gorgeous country. I have barely scratched the surface myself. I've tried to venture off to different parts and regions of Mexico. Some are easier to get to than others. Some are less dangerous than others. But like every part of the world has its danger, right? Every part of the world has things you're gonna find that you shouldn't go looking for.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I think people really try to, like I said, put Mexico in a box and like, oh, you guys have beaches and that's it, right? It's like no, it goes well beyond that. We're very rich in culture, very rich in our, products that we create, the food that we make, and our people, like everything, like minerals, gold, like Mexico has it all. People just really don't know that, and I think they should. And like for me, it's like when I come onto the show, we want to try to obviously show love and pay homage to my country, where my parents came from, where they brought me from. And I think for me, tequila it reminds me of that, and it gives me kind of still has that, gives me that connection, that world I will never know because I was never raised in it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I visit it, I love it, but it's different. There's definitely an alternate universe out there where I was raised in Mexico,
Really?
and I feel like obviously for me, it always calls my name. I always feel super tied to it, and that's definitely where I'm gonna retire, man. That's where I'm gonna spend my days at. So
Yeah.
once I'm done here in the U.S.
Gone.
Catch me
Jalisco?
catch me in Jalisco, bro. You're
Back to
welcome
the ranch.
anytime, bro. Hell yeah, like
Sitting the cows and everything, huh? What's the longest you stayed out there at once?
almost a month, maybe like 20. I think the longest was longest probably I've stayed there was a little over 3 weeks, probably like 24, 25 days. And honestly, I could stay there longer, bro.
Yeah.
I don't get home. I mean, I do get a little homesick because I have my dog out here, I have my friends out here, I have my clients out here, I have a lot of family here, right? But I think for me, Mexico's always had a special place in my heart. I think that's exactly where I want to live out the last of my days.
Right.
If God gives me the opportunity to, like, I would love to. And, I feel like I definitely is going to I think it's just gonna bring happiness to my life, man. I love it out there. Time flows a little bit slower, as you know. Time goes a little bit slower out there.
Isn't it interesting though? Like you
Yeah.
can go to a different country or a different part of the world or even a different part of the country really, and regardless of what people's like economic status might be or like income or whatever, they're still happy people regardless of where you're at. And then like
That's
we're
a
here
beautiful
in the
thing.
Bay Area, we're here in California, and then
Yeah.
like whatever, one deal falls apart or something happens and like
And all shit, health,
yeah, and
all hell breaks
it's
loose.
the end
You
of the
know?
world, right? Like Target
crazy.
doesn't have the product that we wanted to, and like all of a sudden our day's ruined, right? But then like there's people in Mexico or different parts of the country that have literally 1% of what we might have and are happier than we could ever be out here.
Yeah.
Two different worlds.
Two different worlds, bro. I think we have it way better than people think we do, see we do. I have to remind myself of that a lot. And to me, it's like we have everything we want. We really don't struggle as much here. People struggle a lot worse in other countries. I mean, you see in Mexico as well, like some people have a hard time. Things are expensive out there too. People don't make as much money as we do here.
And even here though, dude, like you can even think about people here, like you can make a certain amount of money and then you can experience someone that is making a tenth of what you might be making and they
Yeah.
find a way to make it happen somehow, right? Yeah, maybe they don't drive whatever you drive. Maybe
Yeah.
they don't have like the luxury to have this and that. But you talk to them and it's like, man, they're gonna get through life just like you're gonna get through life and they're just
Yep.
as happy, if not, even better. Like, it can be in a different country, but it also happens literally right in front of us.
Oh, dude, I have a prime example for you. One of my uncles who, came here obviously to give his kids a better life, felt like it wasn't a better life for them. And he felt like something was missing. And I think for him, the nail in the coffin was when Trump won the first election. And he's like, you know what? I think this is my time. Like, something's missing. Not really happy here. I think my kids can get the same education and can, still have the same opportunities. And dude, like, he may not make as much money, but I've never seen my uncle have a bigger grin in his life. And especially like when he has his land, works his land, grows crops, grows agave, grows everything. And every time he comes home on his tractor, I always see him. I always give him a little. Always, dude. Like he seems so much happier. And I think that no matter who you are, where you are, like you have to just make the best of it, bro. And I think that's humbling to know that they don't drive what we drive, but they have their land, and the land gives them what they want, and for them that's enough. Right. And it's like now you have to like, and it humbles me a lot too because I'm like, dude, like I have more than what I could want, right? And it's like that really humbles me to think like, dude, you just need to like slow down, appreciate what you got. Like everything is gonna be all right. Like when stuff gets a little tough, then you got to kind of reflect on that kind of those things and just kind of remind yourself like, everything's gonna be okay. And I think it always kind of like brings me back to Mexico, where like you're saying is like when like they just like despite whatever's going on, like they're gonna wake up tomorrow and they're gonna go work at the ranch or they're gonna go do their thing and they're gonna be all right. They're still gonna have that smile. They're still gonna be at church on Sunday. They're still gonna be doing everything that they're doing. So it's a really humbling experience that like, you can go to a different country, you can see these people who don't even have anything that you have or even probably close to it, but yet here they are, smile on their face, doing their thing, getting up every morning. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Right. It's a beautiful thing. That's like I said, sometimes we take life so much for granted, and like you said, you get fucking pissed off that like Target doesn't have something, and like you have to order it online, or damn, I gotta go into the store, and it's like, dude, like some people don't have those kind of even thoughts, or even like that doesn't cross their mind. They're just They go to their local store. What they got is what they got, bro. So it's
exactly. Yeah,
it's a beautiful way of life, man.
My mom came to this country obviously to give us. Ashley wants a refill here, so let's give her a refill.
Get some of George's. You want some of George's?
Which one did I get from?
You had the Pilar.
The Pilar.
you want the dog block?
No.
Yeah. Yep. Same one.
No, I don't want to see.
Oh, no, you want the different one?
Oh my gosh, no. She says no.
No.
Okay. Damn, son. Roll run it.
Oh no. We're gonna pivot.
Let's go. Let's pivot. Let's pivot.
What were we talking about?
I was just gonna say, so we're
You
talking
talk
about
about-
different perspectives, and
Yes.
I was
You're touching on
gonna say-
something about your family.
My mom, yeah. So my mom obviously came to this country to, give our family a, better opportunity. Myself and my sister, and I have a sister that lives in Mexico still in Sinaloa. But like, I was talking to her, I don't know, maybe a month ago or so, and I was at her house a couple months ago, and just having a conversation. She still has our grandma out there, which is her mom. And she's like, "Oh, I just want to go back to Mexico." And it's like she, has said it over many years and periods of time. She'll say it here and there, kind of like in a joking manner, but not really. And like this time, she said it, and I'm like, "Man, she's serious. Like she's just gonna go back to Mexico and never come back," type of thing. Because she's just like, "Well, like, what am I gonna do here? Like, she's working, but you still struggle. You still have things that you have to take care of. It's not easy, right? Unless
Yeah.
you have certain things lined up, here in this country, right?" And so she's
Right.
just like, I'd rather just, even if it's not as easy out there, if it's hard out there, it's gonna be hard, but I'm gonna be with my mom, type of thing, right? And that was her perspective.
Yeah.
And she was so serious about it this time that she called me a couple weeks later. Or no, she posted something on Instagram, dude. She
Oh no.
never post anything on Instagram, and I didn't know what it was. And I saw her story. Like, Mama doesn't use Instagram; she uses Facebook. But she added me on Instagram some time back, and I'm like, "Is this my mom posting something on Instagram, or like did someone hack her account, or is this
Right.
a bot, or what's happening?" She posted something on it, but it was so like weird, not weird, but like so random, and I didn't understand what the picture was.
Yeah.
That I was like, my mom left and she didn't even tell me. And so I called her in there. I was like, "Madre, ¿dónde estás? ¿Qué estás haciendo?" She's like, "Oh, I'm at home doing this." She's
Yeah.
like, "Why?" I'm like, "Oh, I thought you left to Mexico and didn't tell me." She started cracking up. I was like, because this is how serious she sounded last time I spoke to her.
Yeah.
And I was like, "I told you don't leave," because she's the type
Yeah.
of person that would literally like just leave the country and won't tell me. I was like, I was dead serious. Don't freaking leave and not tell me that you're leaving and not coming back, type of thing. But
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
but that's how I say that,
Yeah.
because like. And that's not the first time or the first person or story that I've heard of. People are like, "Hey, I thought the U.S. was going to be something that was going to be better for me, but it's not." And they came and tried it out, and they're like, "I think I'm happier, where I'm from or in this other, country type thing, even though it might not be there might not be as many opportunities as we might have here."
Yeah, man. I don't blame him, bro. To be
Yeah.
honest, I don't blame your mom.
You're like, "I'm on my way."
I don't blame. No, dude. And honestly, mentally, yeah. Like I'm there sometimes. You
Yeah.
know. I don't blame them. Like I just feel like that's part of my soul's there. It's always going to be there, and I think it's just my family and how deep rooted we are there. And like I don't tell everybody this, but I never got to meet my grandfathers, and so my grandfathers were never in my life. And I grew up with two grandmothers. I've had them for a good portion of my life. And my only father figure was my dad, and for me, my grandfathers were everything because all I would hear was stories on how hardworking they were, and they both were really involved in their ranches, and my grandfather from my mom's side, my mom's dad, like was very much would work here as a garbage man in San Francisco, and then go and whenever he had vacation, go work in his ranch, and like never skipped a beat, man. Like just that work ethic that was like ingrained in them. And my dad's dad was just like all day horses and cattle, and that was his thing. And
Right.
he would trade cattle and horses, and like literally buy cattle that were on the verge of death and like nurse them back to life and flip them, and like very much like hustlers, man, both of them. And it's like, for me, it's like all I hear is stories, but like for me, every time I go back, I just have a connection. I feel like they're looking out for me, that I'm welcome there. I never feel like never feel unwelcome ever. Like I just feel like I'm supposed to be there. And that's why I don't blame your mom. I have a buddy of my buddies of mine who moved his family out there as well, and they're doing really great. And I saw a crazy article, and honestly, like when I seen it, I was like, yeah, dude, that Mexico's going to be one of the places to live in the next 10 years just because of how crazy the country's growing. You know, they have a great health system. Their schools are great. You know, they have, you know, obviously the only thing that really people kind of, the stigma on Mexico is like, oh, the cartels and
Right.
this and that, right? It is what it is. You're going to find danger everywhere. You know, I mean, you know, you
Right.
just have to find where you want to live. You know what I mean? Where you're going to feel comfortable. And I think like Mexico's a beautiful place. A lot of crazy tourism that people don't even know about. It's not like I said, it's not just beaches, you know what I mean? But
Right.
yeah, man, like it's beautiful. Time slows down. People are awesome. Food is great.
Right.
Tequila's great.
What else?
What else do I want? What else do I need? You know what I mean? As long as my lady comes, that's all I need. As long as I have my companion.
Espanol.
You gotta learn that. You gotta learn.
It's taking so long. It's ready to go.
Inglés y barreras. Vámonos.
What's coming up?
Start learning Spanish. We're moving to Mexico, babe.
Okay, let's go.
Or should we do it? Don Pilar?
All right, so Don't Pilar. All right, shout out to Don't Pilar. We love you guys. Appreciate you guys always supporting us, always sponsoring us. So Don't Pilar is cool, super cool because they're local. Gente de Jalisco, obviously. Let me see if I can read this because it's kind of like a little hard to read on the bottom. See if they have it right here in the box. We'll give you guys a little insight right here. Don Pilar, this tequila was born in the fertile highlands of Don Jose Pilar Contreras. The blue agave was matured, harvested, distilled, aged in American white oak barrels under the supervision of master tequila distillers Don Leopoldo Solis Tinoco and Gabriel Espindola. The result is a tequila that captures the spirit of Jalisco, the heartland of Mexico. I love that. So it says Don Pilar. It says try Don Pilar. There's tasting notes right here. So
Okay.
y'all listen up.
Pay
So it says try Don Pilar in a sipping glass or in your margarita. Look for a distinctive mellowness with a nose of sweet oak and nutty aroma. A clean, smooth finish with a subtle agave aftertaste. All right.
Let's go.
Well, Don Pilar is a good friend of ours. Shout out to their entire family, the Pilars, to Juan Carlos. His son is super was involved with us at NAREP, at NORA. He was always super cool to come and support our events and would do tastings for us and has invited us to their restaurant. So Amigos Grill is in Portola Valley. Amazing place, beautiful, down near San Jose. Definitely recommend get an Airbnb, stay the night, because when you go to Don Pilar and you let them know that Ricky sent you, they're gonna be extra friendly, and the pours are not gonna be light. So make sure you guys get your Ubers, stay close by. There's some really, really cool Airbnbs. Beautiful area, you know, super like little rural. Got some forest there, got some beautiful trees. But really nice area to hang out, stay in. And like I said, Don Pilar has some great food. They have really, really good food there at the Amigos Grill, but they also have all their bottles for sale. Probably one of the best buys at Costco. It's like $50 for a bottle of Añejo. But if you go there and Don Pilar is there, he'll hook you up with his signature. So
Autograph.
got a little autograph on there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but Don Pilar's autograph is on there. He gave me this bottle on 8/25/24, and got his little signature on there.
Nice.
Awesome guy, so much fun, great people. It's a little butterscotchy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you know. It's a little sweeter, a little butterscotchy. Let me know what you think.
I heard the notes. It said sweet in the notes.
Yeah, man.
Nutty
It's a
aroma.
little nutty, man. You get that butterscotch in there, but it's one of my faves. I really do like this añejo. Like I said, it is a little nutty. Yeah, you can smell it. It smells like butterscotch. But yeah, you can find it at Costco. You can find it at Total Wine. You can find it at a lot of spots. But I do challenge you if you want to have a good time, have some good food. Go up to Migos Grill. God, rude of me to pour my own glass before yours.
All good.
Yeah, I definitely want you to tell me what you think of this one because it's a little different than what we just tasted.
All right.
And then I'm gonna work this up to the extra añejo because I got the extra añejo right there for us
Oh, this is
too.
also Don't Be Bad. Okay.
Yeah. So that bottle's a little more expensive, closer to I think it's about $100. If you go to Don Pilar and at the Amigos Grill, and he's there, he'll hook you up with a signature on the box. That comes in a nice little box. I didn't bring the box because I was planning on finishing it with George today.
Go, baby.
Planning on finishing that thing off, but I did have a little bit left, and I definitely wanted you to try it.
Notice both. I think the box also said New American White Oak.
Yep.
Barrel, so both are
Yep.
same barrel. Okay.
And so, yeah, I think this kind of goes over it goes over exactly what we talked about. Yeah, it talks about their grant. So the cool thing, they're from a little town nearby Arandas, and they do some really cool stuff every year. I forget when it is, but if you go to Amigos Grill and you ask them about it, they'll tell you because they invite everybody. They do a cabalgata every year. You know what a cabalgata is? Cabalgata is when they get together, men, women, kids, everybody on horseback, and they travel. So it's kind of like, no, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you know when they do like caminatas and stuff like that, like sometimes for like, this is for their patron saint.
Right.
So they do like caminatas sometimes for like Virgen and stuff like that. So what they do, essentially, they do a cabalgata on horseback for their patron saint. They all kind of ride in from different towns, smaller towns, into the main town on horseback. And it's like hundreds of people.
Right.
I think they said one time they had over 1,000 people on horseback.
Wow.
So they all show up, and Los Pilatos is a big party. They pay for it all, food, drinks, everything. But it's a way to obviously pay respect to the patron saint, but also to get people together, celebrate, all that good stuff. But Don Pilar, they take a lot of pride as well in their tequilas. Really, really good stuff. Not very expensive. But something you won't really see like too much in Mexico. You're gonna see more here because they just bring everything over. But they're very vertically and horizontally integrated. What I mean by that is they grow their own stuff, harvest it, distill it themselves, bottle it, bring it here, sell it here. And then they have their restaurant. They have obviously contracts with Costco, things like that. But they're very much like they grow it from the ground up, bottle it, market it, sell it, everything. So it's not a huge operation.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can't remember how many bottles they're doing a year, but enough obviously so that they have the kind of the brand recognition.
And they're
very
stores. And
they're very well known here in the Bay.
Yeah.
Very well known.
Nice.
So with that being said, salud.
Yeah. Cheers, baby.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Pinky does.
There's a
Oh yeah, this is different.
Right?
Than the other one for sure.
What do you think? What do you taste?
It's definitely sweeter. Can't tell what to make out of it. It's sweeter.
It's having you think a little bit, huh?
I don't know. What's the opposite of sweet?
Savory. A little bit more like, is it more, you got a little more, what, a little bit more,
I felt like that. This
a
one
little
was
bit more oakiness, a little bit more kind of like
this one-
sourish, kind of
I
like,
felt like this one was more like oaky, and this one's
yeah, this one's more sweet, has a little bit of, yeah, at the end, huh? Right at the end, I feel like, right at the end, it feels like a butterscotch candy.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And it kind of lingers in your mouth. You kind of taste that
I'm a fan.
butterscotchness.
Actually, Moises wanna try it out.
How's that
Give it a
taste?
shot. I like it. I think I like this one better, to be honest.
Interesting.
Which one is that one?
You know, you're more
Interesting that you.
though.
Yeah, I
think it all, but I think you
don't
lean
hate
towards this.
Nothing that's on this
No?
table do I hate. No, I'm very much a fan of everything that's right
I
here.
think this one might be your favorite, actually, the extra.
We will see. That's why, por eso más ahora un poquito. No, I love añejos, love the taste of them. You know, they're all going to be a little different. This one, I feel like, yes, more oakiness here.
Yeah.
A little bit more sweeter here. And then the color is very similar.
That one's darker. It's a little bit darker, no?
Yeah,
What'd you think of it?
yeah. I mean, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I think I'm more of a fan of Centenario just because I like that oakiness. Because I like whiskey. I like it all.
Right.
But I'm not mad at anything. I think. I mean, I could be here all night with any one of these.
What if I played my
I'll
new
be
song?
I'll be very well accompanied. Huh?
Yeah.
That new song.
It's not new. It's new to you.
Can that be how your thing ends today?
You're gonna play it. And George is gonna start laughing once he hears what song it is.
Oh. Don Pilar. Keep doing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. It's good.
I like this. I think I like it better. Easier. I think this one's easier.
A little easier to drink?
digest. Yeah. I think so. I can drink it a little bit.
I think you're saying that because we got prepped with
Think
yours.
so? Yeah. Mess this up. We should've stopped.
No. It just I think it's because it's this was our first drink, so it's that kind of prepping everything. But yeah, I think
We'll see if that's the
I
case.
think
this
yeah
one I should be.
that one's this one's this one's really gonna bring it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's really gonna bring it out. This one's gonna.
This one I felt like I had to take my time, maybe because we were just getting started. But with this one, it's just like okay, I can.
It's because we prepped everything, prepped and ready to go.
Estamos calentitos.
Oh, andamos bien calientes ahorita. Yeah, this one I think you're gonna love, bro.
Yeah.
This one is if you liked the first one, this is even better. Do you guys want to try one of this before we kill it?
Yep. Yeah, they do.
Who?
You guys, because there's not much left.
Sharon out here.
I gotta drink what I just
Go for
drank and then I'll drink that.
Our executive director, Ashley. Hello.
Or I'll save you some, babe, because I don't want to kill it on. She fell in love with this song, bro.
Ashley gives me the vibe that she does this all the time with random songs.
Yeah, she does.
What do I do? They're all my theme songs.
Yeah.
Ooh, it smells so good.
Let's see it. I'm trying to be a professional here. Let's do what the pros do.
I'm trying to legislate an area.
But I don't know what to make of them. Like when I smell it and even when I try to taste it and like.
Do you do the whole like taste it?
Try to-
and put it on your
just
tongue
try
for
to,
3 seconds, and then blow out the
You
air?
gotta just try to make it, try to like assimilate something to that smell to you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what does it smell like? What does it kind of remind you of? For me, it's butterscotch all fucking day.
Not this one.
This is like vanilla,
I can see that.
a little bit of honey in there.
See, the fact that you can describe these things is that just tells me maybe my taste
Yeah,
buds don't have
como un miel, güey. Does it taste like that to you?
Yeah.
Like a miel.
But that wouldn't register in my brain until like you say it. It's like, oh yeah, actually I can see that.
But then at that point now you're just following what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You have to be like, what is it? Like, just spit it out, bro. Like
Almost
butterscotch, vanilla.
almendra.
Yeah, bro, it is for real.
I can see that.
Oh yeah, almond joys, baby. No, I mean, for sure. You know what? Like a fucking maple syrup, bro.
Dude, like Aunt Jemima.
Yeah, for real. You taste it?
Dude, I used to
El
pour-
tía-
I used to
el
pour
tía-
the
el tía
whole
Jemima?
bottle, dude, my favorite. Hey, they recently, a few years ago, changed it to the
What, the Aunt Jemima?
Pearl Mills thing. Yeah, because it was
Yeah.
like
Pearl Mill or something.
yeah, dude, I was so mad. I was like, no, I want Aunt Jemima. I want.
It doesn't exist anymore?
We grew up with Auntie Jemima.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist anymore? Are you guys kidding me?
It's the Pearl whatever
It's like-
company.
Racist or something.
I wanted some tía Jemima.
Yeah, was that Tia
So it doesn't even look like a woman
I don't have
anymore.
a picture anymore.
Not, it's like a little cabin with its plain block.
But it's not it's not in the body of a woman. Remember?
No, it's not Aunt Jemima.
She doesn't exist anymore.
She's gone.
Name's gone, picture's gone,
Just
everything.
like cornucopia and Fruit of the Loom.
Yeah.
It never happened. doesn't exist.
It's crazy, huh? I was mad when that happened. I was like,
Get out
damn.
of here, conspiracy theorist.
What's that effect called? It's the
The Mandela?
it's the Mandela effect.
I don't believe in that shit.
No.
I do.
Brujeria.
Bears eat bears.
Yeah.
Brujeria.
All right. One of the things you mentioned earlier, you like when we're talking about obviously being different perspectives and you being in Mexico and appreciative and just trying to be thankful for some of the things. One of the things I noticed about you that like almost nobody does is you have like your weekly recap posts that you make on Instagram where it's just you dump 10, 15, 20 pictures and like, hey, this is a recap of what happened. Nobody else does that. And dude, that's actually something super cool. And that's something I admire about you. It's like, dude,
I'm not gonna take the credit.
This is like
because who I paid to film this is who inspired my significant other to post it.
Goat said to do that, and I'm the one that does it. So Goat is the one that suggested.
I feel like
you posted for
And
me.
then I create the caption based on the pictures.
so.
Wow.
You're
blocked.
You're talking about. I pay the right people around me.
You're blocked.
I was just gonna hype you up about your videos. Hey, cut it.
We're done.
We're done.
Episode 54
Podcast
didn't
is
happen.
over.
Episode 54 didn't happen.
Hey, bro, my people can get their flowers.
Okay. No, dude, like,
Okay.
serious though. Like, I see the post, and obviously it's different because you're not posting one picture and like, oh, yesterday I did this.
Would you care more about it if it was in real form? I think it'd be obnoxious.
No.
Like people do like, oh, this is what I did this week.
I wouldn't change anything about it.
I'm honestly, I didn't know it was gonna be as successful as it is. That's probably one of my most liked fucking things I post.
Well,
and it's just a carousel of photos, but it's like shit that I'm actually doing.
Well, the reason why I think and why I admire it and I see it as like this is like something super cool is because you're literally allowing yourself to reflect and introspect on what just happened last week. And even though it's just you went to the freaking Niners game, which whatever, anyone can do. You freaking had a birthday or you spent some time with Ashley or you did listing video or whatever, but like you're allowing yourself, which I don't think people do here in the Bay Area because we're just so busy on to the next, right? We don't stop to think, damn, we've accomplished so much and let me just think back and rewind and just be thankful for what just happened. We accomplished so much and then we just keep going and say, oh, but I also have to do this, and then a year passes or however long passes and we're like, damn, we're not where we want to be, but it's like that's okay. Because look what you were able to accomplish in the last, but you don't realize it unless you stop and reflect on that, right? And the fact that you do that once a week or whatever your cadence is, and whether it's scheduled or someone does it for you or whatever,
right?
Like you at the end of the day have to pick those pictures maybe or think of something, right? Contribute something to it, and I think that's something cool. I think like I myself pride myself on being super introspective and just like being able to pause and say, okay, well, like hey, maybe I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be, so thankful for that. Or like, hey, I did this, and it's something that's so small. Or at one point, it's every day before I open my email, open my text, open my Instagram. You literally write down 5 things that you're grateful for, right? And it's just like something so, like people think about it, and it's like, oh, that's so corny, so cheesy, so whatever. But what it does for your mindset, especially if you do it at the very beginning of the day, every day, it doesn't matter what gets thrown at you throughout the rest of the day. Some people just overreact over certain things, and you're like, dude, it's okay because this is what I have going on in my life, or I'm thankful for this, whatever. And it allows you to move throughout your day and your week and your life without overreacting to these things that are just small things that we talk about, right? Like Target not having whatever you thought we wanted to get.
Yeah, no, Daniel, I appreciate that. I think obviously I can't take all the credit, but I will say that when I share these photos. And when I'm actually going through my photo log, I'm like, holy fuck, this is what I did this week. And it's like, more than anything, I'm grateful to be in that position. I'm grateful to be where I'm at and like have the people around me who not only want to work with me, but like inspired me. And, like I'm just beyond grateful because I think I have a really cool tribe. And it's not just my associates that I work with. It's people like you, people like my girlfriend, people like obviously like Moises, people who I respect a lot in this industry, like people in our office, like Mark and Victor, Stephanie. So it's like more than just like my group that I work with. It's like all these amazing people around me. I do so much cool shit. Like I'm so involved in all these things, and like sometimes I don't even like take the time to even reflect on that, and
Right.
like and be like obviously more than anything, just take the time to understand like what has happened. Like obviously, yeah, we're on the go all the fucking time.
Right.
We're here, we're there, we're that. And, like, you know what I mean? Like fucking crazy world. I have a car that can drive me from point A to point B. It's like that shit's insane. Like who would have thought? Like you know what I mean? Like 20 years ago, like that we'd have these fucking phones that are computers. You know, like just like where we've come as people and like where we're at now, and just like this whole fucking thing of social media and everything like just revolves around us that consumes so much. But like I think the cool thing, yeah, that I really appreciate you for bringing that up. But it's like I feel like for me and people who follow me, it gives them some insight on like what I do and who I am. But also it just gives me the ability to kind of just like take a second to really recognize like what has gone on in this certain amount of time, and it's only been 7 days.
Right.
And for me, sometimes I'm like so caught up in so many other things. It's like, dude, I showed these amazing homes. I got these clients into contract. I went to Wisconsin to a 49er game.
Right.
Like all these crazy things that have gone on, and just being able to reflect on those things and like obviously understand like, you know, that this has only happened in 7 days. And it's like, it's crazy to just like think that way, but also just I think for like you're saying, just for like like yourself to just be able to reflect with those kind of things, be grateful for where you are on your path.
Right.
And sometimes we deviate from that path, all the time. But I think we're kind of just like that's just life, and just be able to reflect on those things, kind of bring yourself back. And I think right now the holidays are kind of crazy because things are just all kind of wampus. Like things are moving around so crazy around us, and it's just like. Take some time to slow down. For me, this is my favorite time of year. Bro.
Yeah.
Like for me, I love the holidays. I think for me, this is the time where I give back the most. I spend the most fucking money, obviously.
Right.
Not just because of gifts, but like I give back so much. Like I want to give back to my clients. I want to give back to all these people, and it's cool to just kind of be able to reflect on these times and more than anything, just show gratitude.
Right.
To not only myself, but the people who've been around me, supported me, guided me, all that kind of cool stuff too.
I mean, the fact that you get to like, you can think about, oh yeah, I spent the most money during this time, and you can think about it that way, or you can think about it, well, hey, I get to spend the most money because I'm allowed the opportunity to maybe give someone something,
Yeah.
buy this for this person, or donate, or put together this event, or whatever. Like, oh, I'm slowing down and things are wonky, so my business isn't where it needs to be, or like, hey, I'm taking this time to just chill, right? Like I was just talking to my processor earlier today. We were talking about a situation, and she works like I work, and we're always on the go. And I forgot what she was saying. She was like, "Oh, you might hear kids in the background. Kids are out of school for 2 weeks of the last 6 weeks of the year. So like this time of year gets wonky, and it's rainy outside, and I'm in my pajamas. She was working from home or whatever. Like, hey, don't worry about it. Like, hey, I would just think about that.
Yeah.
Actually, and I told her because I remember the exact day. It was literally the day after Halloween. I think it was raining that day or something. But like all of a sudden, the weather, or it was getting dark outside super early.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was thinking like, man, all of a sudden it feels holiday-ish, and I like.
Yeah.
This isn't common for me, but like I kind of just want to chill today. I don't necessarily want to do loans or pre-approvals. And she's
Right.
like, "Oh wow, that's weird for you." I was like, "Yeah, that doesn't happen, to me often." But like I'm just embracing the fact that like, hey, you get to. It's okay to just
okay to slow down.
a day and slow it down for a bit and even
okay, yeah.
appreciate that part of it, right? Even though I've
Exactly.
historically not been that way. So two different perspectives, I guess.
Yeah, man. I think that's something that we don't do enough of is like that I've obviously been obviously I'm guilty of this too. Is like go 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 go, but like sometimes you gotta take a step back and do something for yourself, bro. Like got to be able to take a step back, let your body rest. Like we're always on the run, always doing all these things, and it's like sometimes I need to always sit back and reflect too. Like, dude, I've done hella crazy shit. I just need to rest, dude. I need to I'm over here like
Just need a massage.
go, yeah. Like I'm like go 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 go, and I'm like fucking this Thanksgiving this week, which is great because now I really get to chill. Relax, start doing some Christmas decorating. You know what I mean? Hang out with my girl and
Right.
families and like. Just take some time to ourselves, and I think that's it's a beautiful time of year because of that. But like, dude, you got to be grateful for everything. Like, the people who've obviously stuck their necks out for you, who've helped you, who've given you a referral, who've guided you on certain some things, and who've given you advice. Like, I mean, for me, it's like there should be a time always to be grateful to people and give back and give their flowers and all that cool stuff too. But I think for me, like, this is this is a time where I really just like take a step back and really like reflect and thank people who've done so much for me, like that I have some amazing clients who, like, I don't pay them anything.
Right.
Like, here they are sending me business, who are talking to me, like asking me questions, like trying to get me, more clients, and it's like they don't have to do that shit. It's like I have some amazing clients who are like my VIPs, who are like always thinking about me, like, hey bro, can I put you in touch with one of my friends, and hey, would you like to, like, help me do this other thing in real estate that I'm trying to do? And I'm like, yeah, dude, like whatever I can do to help, right?
Right.
And it's cool to just be a part of those conversations. But at the end of the day, I'm just like so grateful for those people, because after all these years, they still think about me.
Right.
And so, like, that's for me, I'm more grateful than anything, just because they still think about me. They're willing to give me a shot. And then it was hella funny. One of my clients I worked with, like, probably like 6 years ago, she's like, hey, I know you're a superstar now, so we just want to make sure, can we meet up at this time, and want to make sure that you have time for us. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? You guys are like, I love you guys. Like, of course I have time for you guys. And you're not bothering me. And they're like, oh, we don't want to bother you. And it's like, what are you guys talking about? They're like, oh, Ricky, you're a superstar now. I'm like, no. Like, and then they always like toot my own horn, which is cool. Like, I appreciate that, but I will always have time for those people. You know
Those
what
are
I
the
mean?
people that,
Yeah.
that once you figure out like who your people are, you enjoy working with those people, right? Because it's not
Yeah.
that they're bragging about you or that they're hyping you up or anything, but it's just the fact that they at least have enough
Oh,
respect
dude.
to know, like, hey,
Yeah.
this time work, because you're gonna have the same type of respect for them, right?
Of course.
I
Of course.
do with my clients, so I in a lot of ways expect the same thing. Like, I respect your time, I expect you to respect mine, and I'm not a big shot, and you're probably not a big shot as well, but just having that mutual respect, I think, makes it a lot easier to work with people, and a lot more enjoyable too.
I agree, bro. I agree. Like, I can't complain, man. I'm extremely fortunate, and will always be super grateful to all of you guys, all my clients. Like for me, it's like I'm happy that my hard work has paid off, and I'm not gonna stop working. Like, I'm gonna continue to work hard and continue to do everything I need to do. And for me, it's like for me, it's like, now that this time has passed, like, just to be able to sit back and kind of be like, holy shit, like, this is what I've created from just all my hard work, and just obviously take the time to reflect and give back to those people who have been so great to me. So I think it's a great time to kind of pivot back to you, bro. I mean, this show's not about me.
Go.
So-
Keep the reflection
the-
posts coming though.
I will, bro.
Thumbs up on those. Keep those coming.
Hey, cheers to you, bro. Appreciate you very much. This has been awesome. Great time to kind of come back to you. For those of you guys who don't know, me and George knew each other even before real estate.
Oh, we going all the way back. Okay.
George hit me the other day with, hey, bro, have you seen this text before? I was like, what are you talking about? Crazy enough, me and George are brothers from other mothers. We're both Niner fans.
I guess
So the blood runs deep, baby. We're gold-blooded out here. We're gold-blooded out here, but crazy small world that George was like, hey, bro, have you seen this text? And it was George hit me up a few years ago to buy some of my tickets off me. I was like, what a fucking small world.
Let's pull it up. Let's pull that up.
And then me looking George up on Facebook, and like, who is this guy? And he was like, yeah, I'm your friend on Facebook. And I'm like, what the fuck? Who is this guy, George Morales? And I looked him up, and he's this fucking, good looking dude that was selling was a salesman for some company, for like an energy company at that time, doing some marketing stuff. And I'm like, yeah, bro, it's cool. Like, yeah, let me know. Like, I got
tickets.
hit me up. I got tickets. And dude, what a fucking small world, and how crazy, like, to just be able to, like, full circle moment. Now we're both fucking real estate. You're on one side, I'm on the other, but we're all doing things, obviously, to promote homeownership, to get people in the homes, do all that cool stuff. And now we're over here sitting around 4 bottles of tequila,
Dude.
talking life, man.
So I just looked it up. So I looked up our text thread, right? Because I keep all my receipts, baby. I keep text messages forever.
That's
so anyways,
insane, dude.
dude, September 11th, 2018, 7:35 p.m. How much for the Niner tickets? What's up? What's up? Who's this? That's your response. I'm like, George Morales. I don't even know how we're friends on Facebook, to be honest. And then he told me the price or whatever, and I don't think I got the tickets. But then I just looked up our messaging thread, I guess, on Facebook.
No shit.
First time I messaged you, July 20th, 2012. This is over 12 years ago.
What the fuck?
Hey, I see you're majoring in business. Would you be interested in marketing for an engineering company? Bro, you left me on red, didn't respond. So I sent another message and I said,
bro, I was trying to get my degree, bro. I was in college.
hey, left me on red. I sent another message. I said, guess not, no worries, best of luck. I sent the follow-up message. That's what I said. And then you responded, you're like, hey, George Morales, sounds interesting. Can I receive more information on the marketing position?
How nice is that? How
What a
nice?
guy.
Hey, what a guy, bro. Hey, look at us, bro. Look at us now. Look at us
Dude,
now.
what a jerk. What a jerk of me, right? To just do that and then all of a sudden just get old Ricky. Nice old Ricky coming back with the people skills. But dude, yeah, crazy.
You got me at a bad time, bro. I was literally probably studying my ass off in the library off like 5 hour energy shots, like
Dude,
listening to fucking Mozart, trying to understand the fucking complex.
the number of people that I've had that happen to, believe it or not, like ever since getting into real estate is crazy. Just because, as you know, I was in network marketing previously for some time, and I started really young. I started at 16 years old, 15 and a half, 16 years old, like as soon as I was able to start.
I was young, man.
And so I was, a young kid doing dumb stuff, pants sagging, whatever, doing student stuff as like young kids do. Somehow got into network marketing, got introduced to it through a really good friend of mine who's still one of my best friends to this day, who's a mortgage lender as well. And, did that for some time. And so a lot of my day-to-days at the time was like every day we're trying to recruit people right into the business, trying to get people to sign up and whatnot. And so a lot of it was in person, face-to-face, at random places, meeting complete strangers, somehow sparking up a conversation, exchanging contact information, and showing them a presentation and saying, you want to sign up, yes or no, right? And I was able to do well in that business for several years and recruit a ton of people. And so that's how I, have so many people that I have in my text history and people that are in my contacts and whatnot. But at some point, things pivoted to online, obviously social media, Facebook, Instagram, or whatever. And so I started doing it via Facebook. And so that, had to be one of the, times where maybe I reached out to you as well while you were in college, it sounds like. And, but yeah, here we are. But I will say, like, as crazy as like that experience was in network marketing, it's like I'm so thankful for the fact that I was involved in network marketing for so long, because a lot of people have, has a negative connotation to it, and a lot of people see it as a negative way. But because I was in business so early on and got started with that, and it was all like nothing but positive influences, right? You read self-development books, you're reading, or you're listening to, at the time, those CDs, which now it's just podcasts, right? With like positive affirmations and things that talk about success and how to get ahead, and things that are going to help you succeed in really anything, not just network marketing, but in business in general. That by the time I got into, I was doing business lending prior to mortgage lending, and then by the time I got into mortgage lending, like, dude, I came in here and I was like, bro, like, this is too easy for me. Like, I was talking to random strangers on the street and being able to get someone's contact information, have them give me money for things, right? Like, imagine what I can do with people that I can actually get to know and network and trust, and in the industry like this, where we build these kind of relationships. So I'm super thankful for all the things that I was able to learn there, because I didn't, go to school and get, a crazy degree or anything like that. But I got started, and I've had it so many times where people are like, hey, dude, where'd you go to school, or what'd you do, or like, how are you so good at this or that? And it's like, well, I was reading these freaking books since I was like 15, 16, 17 years old, and got to learn so many of those things that really helped me in business when I actually got started in business loans and then mortgage lending as well.
So what was that catalyst to get into mortgage lending? How did that all come? Was it one of your friends that you mentioned, or was it something that?
Yeah, I influenced. So I was doing business. I started doing business lending in 2015, and was doing really well. I was like the number one guy at the company that I was with in 2020, and then COVID happened.
Correct. Yeah.
I started killing it even more. We got even busier, and some people left the company, and so it just allowed me to receive more leads. The company that I was working for was a business lender. I was in the fintech space and received a ton of leads, inbound leads. So
We didn't have to do any cold calling or anything by the time I was with that company. So I was being fed a lot of that stuff, and so I was able to produce, and do very well. And COVID happened, literally no joke. Like I say this with no joke. I'm bored at home and I'm like, I want to learn something else. And I had a friend of mine that was a mortgage lender, and I'm like, let me see if I can study to get my mortgage license and see what that's about. Just to see what it's about, just so I can have like an extra degree.
Yeah.
Literally zero intention of leaving my business lending job, because I'm like, dude, I'm killing it. I'm making money here. Like, while I'm working from home, I can clock in, clock out whenever I want. Literally, my branch manager never like reached out or like talked to me about anything. It's just like, dude,
So it was all straight curiosity.
Yeah.
Oh,
Literally
shit.
just curiosity, like, let me see what I can learn about the mortgage lending space.
Wow.
How to do a mortgage loan, right? Because I do business loans now. And so I did that, got my education, passed my test, and I was like, that was fun. Like, that was a cool learning experience. Now I know like what it takes to be a mortgage lender. And then I went back to doing business lending and did that. And that was like early 2020. That was like March 2020, right when COVID started. And then December 2020 happened, and the company that I was working for got bought out by a large company that we were partnering with. It was like an international company, super huge company.
Yeah.
And you basically, now you get acquired, it's a merger, this happens.
Right.
That company was more suit and ties, it was more like, hey, 8 to 5, clock in, clock out. And I'm like, dude, I'm super entrepreneurial. I got my setup good here with this company. I'm working from home. They're like, yeah, you have to clock in at 8 o'clock every day. Even if you're working from home, you have to wear a black suit, white shirt, red tie. And I was like, yeah, like, that's not really.
That's not gonna work for you.
Yeah.
They're trying to put you in the box that you didn't belong in.
Yeah, and I didn't want to come to it about it from like an arrogant standpoint. I was like, all right, well, let's check it out. I'm open to some of these things to see how how you guys are going to be on these things. And I sat in for like an hour or a month or so just to see like how things were going to change. And then after that, I was like, well, I'm really at a crossroads right now where I can make a decision to maybe not stay with this company, because I didn't want to operate the way that they wanted to operate, and so I can just go get another job at another business lender with another business lender, and continue to do what I do there. But I thought about it. The more I thought about it, I was like, man, if I leave here, like, I'm not making like a lateral move. Like, I'm going to do something completely different. I'm just going to get out of this particular industry. I'm going to do something else.
Right.
And so I had the mortgage, lending license or pass test or whatever.
Ready to go. Yeah.
I think if I leave this company, I'm not going to do business lending anymore. I'm going to go mortgage lending. And so I started, literally went on LinkedIn, looked up a few mortgage lenders here in the Bay Area, and literally messaged their branch manager and said, hey, I already passed my test.
Yeah.
What does it take for me to sign on with you guys? Like, how do I sign on?
Yeah.
And I remember one of the first people in the industry that I ever messaged that I came across on Instagram was Roland, actually. And I still have the messages.
Oh, for real?
Before I got licensed, before I ever got hired or anything, I had to deal. I asked him, hey, Roland, like, I followed you, so-and-so. Hey, I'm wondering, you're a realtor, like, who are, like, the top 2 or 3 lenders that you recommended in the Bay Area? Like, I'm looking to get started in the industry, and I want to, like, sign on with someone that's good.
Yeah.
He recommended a few people or what have you, and
oh, shit.
I ended up signing on with Envoy Mortgage. The branch manager, that was one of the branch managers that he messaged, and responded, like, yeah, sure, let's jump on a call. We jumped on a call, and I remember literally telling him, like, hey, I don't want anything crazy. Like, dude, I don't even expect you to pay me like any kind of salary or anything. Like, I'm gonna get my own business. Like, I just need somebody to sign, like, hang my license with and sign on, and just like teach me a few things, and then I'll be
Go from there. Yeah.
I'm not gonna be headache, none of that. Like, I just need to get in the door, right?
Yeah.
And I've been with them ever since, and here we are.
Nice, bro.
Crazy, right?
Nice. That's fucking insane.
Just random messages. My, I guess, career path is
Hey, it started with you trying to get some Niner tickets, bro.
Exactly. So.
Well, bro, I think the last thing I really want to touch on, before we kind of sign off, is like, where did the inspiration come on social media? Because I know that you really don't see a lot of lenders do some really creative shit that you do on social media. I think it's really cool that when you really kind of this, super informative, number one. Number two, I think really relatable. And then number three is like, when you're passionate about something, it really shows in your videos. And I think that's really awesome because obviously you're able to really kind of, capture your audience and get in front of those people. And I think that's awesome, bro. But like, where does the inspiration come from? Are you just thinking this shit off the dome, or because I know you have, in the past when I've seen a lot of your cool videos that you've done is that you have a program that you really like and you feel like it's really, really good. You kind of really take it above and beyond, and you really try to sell it, because I think that you're super passionate about it. I think it's going to make good sense to the people who need it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, more than anything, where does that inspiration come from? Where you just chat GBT in it?
No, like to be honest, I see myself as a little bit mental in that regard, right? Like I tell people all the time. I was telling Steph recently, like just I'm Mexican in that way, where I'm just
You're Mexican.
hard-headed.
You're Mexican, yeah.
Like I can
Yeah.
learn like no other, but like I a lot of the time see myself like, man, I need to work smarter. I need to like find that other side where I actually admire
Yeah.
what I like to call ambitiously lazy people, you know, where it's like they don't want to do a whole lot of work. So
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
allow these, technologies and like you used to even say other people allow other people to help them do these things and actually scale their business where I'm not that, and
I think that's
I'm working on evolving into that.
It's a great way to categorize myself. I'm ambitiously
you're
lazy.
Ambitiously lazy, baby. Yeah, put that.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna take credit for everything, but I know. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool shit that you do. I think that really deserves to be highlighted, and I think that like a lot of lenders don't do what you do, bro. Like you don't really catch like a mortgage lender doing the kind of content you do. I think it's cliche for a lender to be very hands off,
Right.
to be kind of be behind the scenes, and
Right.
they're like working phones and what have you, because a lot of them have a book of business, especially if that's if they've been in the game for a while. But I think for you, I think it's really cool to see a lender kind of step outside of their comfort zone, do some really cool marketing to get in front of people who may not even have the information, right? Because a lot of people, I think, they just don't have the information. They don't have the manual.
Right. So
You know what I mean?
so that's the thing. You said like, where does this come from? One, like I get this question asked a lot of times, and honestly, like where my ideas and my thought process and the things that I post come from is literally just being in the weeds every day, like being in the trenches, like actually
Right.
talking to people all the time.
Right.
I remember for a certain period of time, I was literally at the end of the day, I made it like a 5 o'clock thing of mine, where at the end of the day, I recap. What did people ask me today? What did consumers ask me or realtors ask me?
Yeah.
Oh, they asked me about PMI or they asked me about this. And so it's just I go out and make some content about it, right? So I'm like, these are actual common questions that real people are asking me. So if this person has that question, chances are somebody else has it, right? And I
Right.
make a piece of content off of that. But one of the things that I learned really early on in business, again, I got started and I signed on to Envoy Mortgage on December 28th, 2020, but my license didn't officially like become official till March 2021, or 2021. And I was like, okay, well, I got no book of business. I'm not getting any leads. I'm not getting any clients. So like, how do I get leads? I remember asking my branch manager, like, how do I get leads? And he's like, well, like, you get them anywhere. Like, just call whoever you want to call. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
sounds like I got to start cold calling. And I pulled up Yelp and I pulled up Zillow and I started cold calling realtors and doing that. For literally a month straight, I was making, 100 calls a day, like just to random people on there. And then I was like, okay, this isn't working. So I started doing social media and just doing the cringy TikTok dancing videos or whatever. But then one thing that I learned is that once I started getting a few introductions and potential clients, like these questions that people were asking it was people that had the credit, they had the income, they had enough of a down payment to be able to qualify, but they didn't believe that they could qualify. They were thought to believe that 20% is what they needed. They were thought to believe that it's expensive in the Bay Area and interest rates are high and it's too competitive and this, that, and the other. And I realized I was having these conversations with these people and I was like, dude, you're literally qualified. You just don't even know it. Like you just need someone to show you what the roadmap or like how to get there, right?
Exactly.
So most of my content, and I tell people all the time, and you've heard me say it, is my goal is to just show you that homeownership is still possible, right? That it's still possible for you and you can get it done. You just don't know how to do it just yet. And here I am just providing you that roadmap, right? One, and then two, when you talk about programs and things like that, I learned after some time in the business that lenders and realtors we all have opinions, right? About programs and about the ways that people should buy or sell houses, right? You should buy with 20% down. You shouldn't buy with 20% down. You should buy your investment property first. You shouldn't. You should buy a multifamily first, or you should buy a single family. Or yeah, you should never buy a condo. You should only go single family because HOAs, right? Like everyone has a certain opinion. One thing that in my mind I thought was like, hey, it's not our job to think about that or make that decision for people. And yes, we can have an opinion, but it doesn't mean that you need to like force your client to go that path, right?
Right.
Our job is to
Right.
provide the options and let them make the decision because they're adults, right? So a lot of the
Right.
stuff that I talk about, you'll see other lenders or realtors say, oh man, that program, you shouldn't talk about that. Or a 2-1 buy down, that's not good for the client. It's like, well, who are we to say that? It's
Exactly.
their money.
It is.
They think about money differently than we think about it. So who are we to make that decision? My job is to just say, hey, just before this podcast, I was on the phone with someone that was making an offer, the payments were too high, but they want the house. It's like the seller needs this much money, but you have a payment budget of this much.
And the payment was too high by like $800 a month, which is a good amount, right? I'm like, okay, well, here's the solution. Here's the Home Buy Now program, right? Here are the good things about this program, and then here are the bad things about this program. And I told him, hey, I want to give you both sides of the coin. I want to play devil's advocate, because what happens is you can use this program and yes, you'll have a nice lower monthly payment, which is going to solve the problem that you had before we jumped on this phone call. But by the time that we get to years 3, if rates don't drop, you're going to be stuck with that higher payment on the 2-1 buy down. So for you, does it give you anxiety? Does it make you lose sleep at night when you see this number? If it does, then hey, maybe this is an option for you.
Correct.
I'm saying that not to scare you, but just to give you the information, and then you go home and talk to your wife about it, and then you know what you decide to do, right? Because at the end of the day, for me, like that program and those numbers for me made sense, but I'm not the one making the mortgage payment, right? So the way I see it is just I provide the information, I give you both pros, I give you both cons. And yes, on the lender side, it's cliche to just sit back, but I'm like, hey, why not like get out there and provide more information to the consumer and empower them to be able to make that decision. At the end of the day, it creates more trust. It allows people to come to me, and then I can also funnel some of that stuff to, you know, realtor partners of mine. And like,
Love it, bro.
nerd in me.
Love it, bro. Hey, dude, that's why we're here, bro. That's why we're here. Hey, bro, but honestly, I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that you're definitely, you know, reaching out to those potential people that you want to work with. I think that you're displaying information, awesome, you know, amazing.
Appreciate it.
And if my significant other didn't do yours, I already told you, bro. You gotta do the Gomez. You gotta do the Gomez, and then you know, and then get a few more referrals your way.
It's all
No, bro, but honestly, I think it's awesome what you do, bro. Really love what you're doing. I think it's outside of the box. I think you're really utilizing, you know, real life examples to really kind of get in front of the consumer, display that information in a way that obviously gives them both sides of the coin, and then allow them to make the best decision for themselves, right?
Right.
Well, brother, I think our time has come to an end. I can be
Yes.
here all night. We still got more tequila, so
Let's go.
the night is young.
We're gonna shut the camera down. The real
Hey,
podcast.
the uncut
Yes,
version, the
yes.
after hours, bro. But once again, brother, you're
appreciate
my guy. Appreciate you, brother, so much for being on the show. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. This is episode 54, Tequila Transactions. President George. Got to follow him on IG. Holla. We out. Appreciate you guys. Peace.